Honorable Consul General of Canada in Mumbai, Juhi Chawla ma'am, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning, a very good evening, and a very happy World Environment Day. So we are here to mark the World Environment Day. Basically, today I'm here to share my experiences and my journey as we've been doing a beach cleanup for the last 91 weeks. So I'm the founder of a community called Beach Please. So it's a completely youth-driven initiative, youth-driven community. Our members are mostly in their early 20s, mostly studying, some of them are even working. So the journey started in July 2017. So I'd been to Bali, Indonesia. So when I came back from Bali, it was a time of Ganeshotsav. You know, Ganeshotsav are very popular in Mumbai. So one day I was at the beach and I was just walking around in the state in which I saw beaches was really pathetic. And it struck me. That made me think, why is there a difference between the beaches in Mumbai and the beaches abroad? So I went back home, I was having a conversation with my mother and she advised me that if you think there's a problem, if you think the beaches aren't clean, just go and clean it. It's that simple. And that was a piece of advice, I was thinking about that was so simple, just go and clean it. So I liked the whole idea. I called up my school friends. I told them about the entire plan that let's go and clean the beach. Fortunately, I got a great response from them. So the first drive was like 19 or 20 of us. It was basically a school reunion. We all met after 5 or 6 years. So I asked, after the cleanup drive, I asked them about the entire experience, how was it? They enjoyed it. And I asked them, let's come back again next week and let's clean the beach again. And they liked the whole idea. And that's how it kept going and going. And it's been 91 weeks now. So a school reunion which started. So something which started as a school reunion has now become a youth-driven initiative. So when we started with Dadar Beach Cleanup, we had no idea how a cleanup is supposed to be done. So when the first cleanup drive was held, we went during a high tide. So usually cleanup drives are only done during low tides. So we couldn't remove much of the waste, but we learned a lot of things. We enjoyed the whole experience. Gradually, we realized that the waste that comes to Dadar Beach or Prabhadevi or Mahim comes to the Mithi River. If you all heard about Mithi River, the Mithi River is the source of waste. So we started with the Mithi River cleanup in November 2018, and believe me, it took me 4 months to convince my team to start a cleanup at that location. Now you would wonder why. The biggest problem at that location is open defecation. That's a biggest problem there. Apart from that, the Mithi River originates in Powai, through Powai Lake and Bihar Lake, and it meets the ocean at Mahim. Now what happens is when the river flows through Dharavi, there are industries that dump their waste directly into the river, and then it gets into the ocean. That is a huge problem. Untreated industrial effluents, hazardous waste like medical waste, dumping of construction debris, illegal sand mining, illegal settlements make it really complex for us, to go and complete the cleanup process. Also, the local communities there are not very receptive about the whole idea of the cleanup thing. So we've been having some serious challenges at that location. Now, the Mithi River is also responsible for the floods that Mumbai faces every year during monsoons. So by cleaning the river, we are not only working for the environment or protecting the environment, but we are also trying to prevent the floods that we might have to face this year again. So that's one thing. Now, because of all these challenges, there are not many people willing to join us at the Mithi River cleanup. Like I said, open defecation, a huge problem. So we've been struggling to get volunteers at Mithi River, but I hope someday we would get volunteers at that location as well, because cleaning up the Mithi River is going to take at least 6 to 7 years. That's what we have figured out. That's how huge the problem is. When we talk about Beach Please, we are not any organization. We don't have any bank account. We don't have any registered organization. We are just a community. So the entire campaign for the last 2 years has been funded by my team and me. We've been chipping out money from our own pocket monies every month and getting all the equipment that you require for a cleanup drive. So it's something that we're doing for love for the environment or for the country. So that's what keeps us going, Now, the biggest challenge that we faced was retaining volunteers for a cleanup. Now we conduct around 8 to 10 cleanup drives every month. So it's very difficult to get volunteers consistently. So we always believe in innovation. So what we did was last year we organized an event called Clean Coast Cup, which was India's first inter-college beach cleanup competition. So it was held from Prabhadevi to Mahim, a stretch of 4 kilometers. And it was a historic day. More than 1,300 college students participated for the event. And it was a great success. And we plan to do a season 2 this year again. Hopefully we get a better turnout this year. One initiative I'd like to mention is we've started with an initiative called Murti Dan, which is one of a kind initiative. Now we find a lot of idols of deities on the beaches. Now there's a Hindu religious customs that the idols that we use at our homes or temples, it's supposed to emerge into water bodies or oceans. So what we forget the basic science that when you immerse something in the ocean, it doesn't go inside. When you immerse something which is lighter in weight, acrylic or plastic, it comes back to the shores. Now what happens to these idols? These idols go in the landfills, which is again going in the dustbins. So we started with this initiative where we restore these idols and we gift it to people who really want it. So some of these idols have also been installed in the temples across the city. So this is something we are doing one of a kind thing, and we would want more and more people to join us for such initiatives. Now there's a whole debate out there whether plastic is good or bad. Now personally, if you ask me, I think plastic is one of the greatest inventions humans have done. But we have all messed it up. The thing is, we only recycle 9% of the total recyclable waste. That's the problem. And when you talk about single-use plastic, you know that's harming the environment. So single-use plastic should obviously be banned, but we should also be looking forward to segregating our waste at source, which is at our homes, and recycling the dry waste. If we start doing that, I think 50 to 60% of the problem that you're seeing at the beaches today, the beaches accumulated with plastic waste, gets solved there. So I think everyone should start segregating their waste at source. That is something we should take up as citizens and look up to. The Constitution of India gives us certain rights, but we often forget about the duties that it comes with. When we talk about rights, we are all fighting for a right, but what about the duties, the duty to protect the environment? I think that is something we lack, performing our duties. There is a revolution that needs to start, and it needs to start from inside each one of us. We need to get up each day and start loving this planet. Unless we don't do that, it's going to be too late. If you know about the climate change, we just have 11 years now. By 2030, if we don't do anything by 2030, it's going to be too late and we all are going to face the problem. If you see, most of the species, 70% of the species have wiped out. And I think humans have done a pretty bad job. So I think we need to really look for our actions and take corrective measures for it. Now, there are a lot of people that tell me that cleanups are not sustainable. You might clean the beach tomorrow, like in the morning and in the evening, the high tide gets all the waste back to the beach. I agree to that. But I think just because the beach keeps getting dirty, we cannot stop cleaning the beach, right? We clean our houses on a daily basis. We have bath on a daily basis. And why can't we do it with our beaches? That's the simple logic what I feel should be doing. And the thing is that we believe in experiential learning, so we have partnered with a lot of schools and colleges. So we believe conducting a seminar in a school doesn't really work. So what we do is we get these schools at the beach. So before the cleanup, we brief them about what the cleanup is about, what would be the consequences if we don't clean the beach. And after the cleanup, we have a Q&A session with the kids. So what happens is when you tell them something about plastic waste, that plastic bags are not good or plastic bags should be avoided, when the kids look at it, that these plastic bags are found on the beaches or something like that, it is killing the marine species, that really makes them think about it. And I think kids are the smartest. If you give them any problem, they come up with solutions to it. Now, there was one kid which said that, why can't we take the waste and put it on the moon? And that was something I couldn't answer, So I think the kids are really smart nowadays. So they should be given opportunities. And also in a young country like India, where 50% of the population is below 27 years old, there are not many young leaders, there are not many young social entrepreneurs. So we are really looking forward to not only cleaning the beaches, but also inspiring and creating new eco-warriors. So this legacy keeps going. There are no eco-warriors at different locations, at different parts of the city, maybe different part of the world, doing the same thing that we are doing and sensitizing the people about the problems that we are facing. Now, though we started with the beach cleanup and we are doing the Methi River cleanup now, there's a study which says that out of the total waste that gets into the ocean, 1% floats on it, 94% goes to the ocean bed, and only 5% comes back to the beach. Now you could imagine it took us 2 years to clean 1.5 million tons of 1.5 million kgs of garbage. What would be the 94% waste that we've been dumping for so long into the oceans? So we are looking forward, the ultimate aim of Beach Place is cleaning up our ocean bed and protecting the marine species, because we might think the beach is clean, but there's a lot of plastic that is still inside the ocean bed that needs to be taken care of. So we are really looking up to it. We are also starting up with the awareness campaigns at the Meethi River. The problem there is, like I said, the communities are not very receptive. So by end of June or July, we're going to start sensitizing them, recycling the dry waste that they have, and then involving them for the cleanups. It's been a challenge involving them. They have been with us for a couple of drives, but it's been a challenge. It's World Environment Day today, World Environment Week. Frankly speaking, we've done more than 7 cleanups in the last 4 or 5 days. In fact, I had a cleanup, 2 cleanups in the morning itself, and more than 1,500 volunteers turned up in these 4 days. So it's a great thing. We want more and more people coming up and joining the cleanup drives. Now, when we say 20,000 citizens have been engaged through our cleanup drives, you might think 20,000 is a huge number. But when you compare it to the population of Mumbai, it's not even 1%. So we want more and more people coming and joining us for the cleanup drives. I think 2 hours every month for the environment, for the nation is nothing much we were expecting. There's a disconnect between us and the environment. There's a lack of belonging, what I would like to say. So we need to connect with the environment. We need to get down. We need to work for the environment. Because development would keep happening. Development is something, it's not never going to stop. But once we lose the trees, once we lose the ocean, it's gone forever. So that's something we need to look up to and think about our actions and their consequences as well. I've got an AV, and I would like you all to see the AV so you get a better idea about what exactly we've been doing for the last 91 weeks. Can we please have the AV? Around. Complaining about the government, complaining about the municipal corporation, but I think as citizens we are responsible for it. We are the ones that are littering around. So we should be taking up the responsibility of our beaches, of our water bodies, and clean the mess that we have created, because my beach is my responsibility. And in the end, I just have one question for all of you, all the lovely people out here, and I want you to think about it. I want you to think really hard about it, that I have cleaned my bit. Have you? Thank you.